to wake up in the morning to the quiet of the cove and hear Aunt Bessie talking to herself, and to hear poor Uncle John mumbling wishes to O'Nell. It made me feel like everything was fine. I was born down by the water, it's here I'm gonna stay. I've searched for all the reasons why I should go away, but I haven't got the thirst for all those modern day toys, so I'll just take my chances with those saltwater joys. Following a little brook as it trickles to the shore in the autumn when the trees are flaming red, kicking leaves that fall around me, watching sunset paint the hills. It's all I'll ever need to feel at home. This island that we cling to has been handed down with pride by folks who fought to live here, taking hardships all in stride. So I'll compliment her beauty, hold on to my goodbyes, and I'll stay and take my chances with those saltwater joys. How can I leave those mornings with the sunrise on the cove and the gulls like flies surrounding Clayton's Wharf? Platter's Island wrapped in rainbow in the evening after fog. The ocean smells are perfume to my soul. Some go to where the buildings reach to meet the clouds, where warm and gentle people turn to swarming faceless crowds. So I'll do without their riches, glamour and the noise, and I'll stay and take my chances with those saltwater toys. Some go to where the buildings reach to meet the clouds, where warm and gentle people turn to swarming faceless crowds. So I'll do without their riches, glamour and the noise, and I'll stay and take my chances with those saltwater joys.
Good evening and welcome to This Week in Review. Tonight, our stories are World Oceans Day, Bank presents cheque to the Recreation Commission, new sign erected at the Town Council office, Elder Abuse Awareness Day. Please stay tuned for these stories after this. Try your luck and play TV Bingo on Wednesday, sponsored by the Lions Club. Cards are 6 for $5 and can be bought from any member of the Lions Club or in most stores around town. June Hiscock dropped by our studios for a chat.
Hi there. June Hiscock with Public Relations on the Town Council, as well as Program Coordinator for the Southwest Coast for OceanNet. And today I'm also going to be speaking with you as a board member of the Virgil Harbour Authority. Thank you very much for all of your dialogue and feedback from the last public relations piece that I did around dog feces. And I just wanted to let you know that I'm very happy with the conversations that have been going around the community. Certainly lots of people did chat with me about how they felt about that somebody needs to be talking about it. One of my fellow councillors actually asked me if I could bring up the fact that it is actually animal feces and not just dogs, because there are cats that are out on the prowl as well, and cats do their business in the sandboxes at the playground, and this is a problem as well. Cats that are left to prowl around actually visit other people's properties as well, and this is a problem for some of our citizens. And so so, I mean, really all we're doing is asking people to be courteous and to think about these things in caring for your pets. We did receive a letter. Someone did write to me, and I thank you for taking the time to write a letter. There was no signature, and I would encourage people to sign letters that they want to write. I'm interested to hear from people who think of these things in a positive light or negative. I mean, one of the things about animal feces around the streets is that maybe there are some of you out there who don't think that this is a problem, and we want to hear from you as well. Certainly, I don't think in the past couple of weeks I've seen this problem as much as I was seeing it just previous to when I spoke with you last. The person who did write to me suggested that I might like to see myself on television because I'm on television a lot talking about the garbage issues. And I don't know that it's a matter of me liking to see myself on television, but just that this is something that as a volunteer and as a professional person in the community, I'm committed to working on. I just believe in educating by action, going out and doing some of the cleanups, but we do need to be talking about it as well. The person who wrote the letter suggested that there are 2 women that take their dogs to the playground every morning to play tennis, and that we should charge those people, that if I would like to be a hero, then we should lay some charges. Unfortunately, we can't lay charges, and maybe that's not so unfortunate because really the town council doesn't want to lay charges, and that's why animal feces is not included in our bylaws. You're not breaking the law by allowing your animal to do this just on somebody else's property or on the street. And in fact, when I did speak last on the BBS, I did make note of that we do not have bylaws concerning animal feces, and so we really don't want to have to create laws around these things. That's why we're just asking if people be courteous, then we wouldn't have to create laws. And so hopefully people can understand that. If there are residents in the community who really feel that we should have laws around these issues, or bylaws, I guess they are called because they're just municipal laws, then certainly you should come forward. You can write us a letter, and we would certainly encourage you to sign your name to those letters, in fact, if they are to be addressed. The women that you spoke of that actually take their dogs to the playground assured me that if their dogs do anything on the playground, they certainly clean up behind them. And these are people who care about their pets and obviously have children and grandchildren of their own, and they don't want this to be a problem. The other problem I see out in the community is the roaming dogs. Of course, if you let your dog roam all over the community, then you can't really be there to clean up after it. And so we also don't want to be sending out notices to people in the mail about this. But of course, it's a small community. Everybody knows the dogs that are roaming. And so eventually, somebody will be charged with this because there is a bylaw about roaming dogs. And so I just did want to bring that to your attention as well. The other thing that I wanted to chat with you about is the Burgeo Harbour Authority. I'm a member of the Burgeo Harbour Authority because I own a boat, and we use the Furby's Harbour slipway to store our boat in the wintertime. I'm also on the board of directors of the Burgeo Harbour Authority. And the Burgeo Harbour Authority was established in 2002 to actually help with the maintenance of the area known as the Marine Service Center and the Furby's Harbour Slipway, so that commercial fishers would have an area to have their boats lifted out of the water for any repairs that might need to be done. And also it's a point of entry, of course, these two areas and other areas in our community, they're points of entry for people who are visiting us. on this past Saturday in celebration of Oceans Day. Part of my job with OceanNet was to do a cleanup. Of course, we had dreadful weather for quite some time. We did go ahead, a small group and myself. Thank you to the volunteers who helped out with the Marine Service Center cleanup on Saturday. Melissa, Michelle, Kayla, and Cody, and Irene. Thank you very much for coming down to help me for the few hours that we were down there. The Marine Service Center, it seems like, or not the center itself, but the area around it, the parking lot area. Many of you know what area I'm talking about, next door to the Fisherman's Wharf. I think over the years it's become kind of like a dumping ground down there. Certainly there were items there that really shouldn't have been there. They belong in the garbage dump. So you have a bunch of industrial garbage, and then of course we have litter just from people being down there in their vehicles and chucking things out of their cars. And then there's also lots of work that happens down there, and so of course there is some garbage left over from some of that work. The footage that you're going to see is the garbage that we did pick up this past Saturday on June 9th, and certainly there will be a bigger effort to try to get this environment cleaned up in the future as well. Burgeo Harbour Authority hopes to partner with the town of Burgeo and some other people to make sure that the next time we're able to do a cleanup, that we will have the proper tools and the machinery and the person power to actually do a really good job. The Burgeo Harbour Authority is actually made up of a membership, and the membership is made up of people who actually have boats, and so those would be commercial fishers and also recreational boaters like myself are able to be a member. There are user fees, and that's the way we are supported. I think there are approximately 40 to 50 members in the Burgeo Harbour Authority right now. Of course, we are hoping that we will get some funding through some of the Summer Canada Job programs or SWASPs to be able to hire someone for this summer, but we rely very heavily on volunteers. And so certainly, if you have any questions about the Harbour Authority, if you have a few hours that you'd like to volunteer sometime, by all means you could give myself a call, or you could contact Chairperson Bill Bowles to let him know your issues of concern or whether you want to volunteer with the Burgeo Harbour Authority. So what you're going to see now is just a little bit of footage from the cleanup where I'm talking to one of the Board of Directors members as well, Wayne Bowles. Thank you to Kayla Krant for videotaping the small bit of footage you're going to see. And hopefully this has given you a little bit more information about some of the issues we see that are problems around the community. Of course, with the NEAT program, Newfoundland Environmental Action Teams, we will also be recruiting volunteers over the summer and starting to identify some of the areas in our community that really need addressing with cleaning up, and hoping to try to put some things in place so that people are more aware and more environmentally friendly and are not out there dumping. So thanks if you recycle, and thanks if you do your part for the environment, and if you don't, well, hey, you know, keep an open mind, and I'm sure there's something that everybody can do to help us out. So thanks a lot, and if you have any feedback, certainly you can be in touch with me at 886-2069 or email june@nfld.com. Thanks a lot, and have a great summer. Okay, hope to see you before long. Bye-bye.
Cleanup, we're celebrating Oceans Day. This is a program of OceanNet celebrating Oceans Day right around the province. And so we had some people come down here this morning. The Burgeo Harbour Authority actually looks after the marina and the area where the fishing boats get taken up and put back out in the water. And there's lots of repairs done down here. My name is June Hiscock, and I'm actually on the board of directors of the Harbor Authority, and I'm just learning about what this is all about. And of course, being an environmentalist and working with Ocean Net, I have some concerns about the environment and all of the garbage and the dumping that's going on in this area. So we're just trying to do a bit of a cleanup this morning, and so come on now, and we'll show you some of the things that we found here today. We have the town of Burgeo who's actually going to pick up our garbage for us. And Kayla, our camera person, will give you a view of what it looks like down here at the Harbor Authority for those of you who are not familiar. I think that sometimes when there's no garbage cans around, or very few garbage cans around, I think people tend to just throw something on the ground. It's left there. Maybe they mean to come back and pick it up, and then it doesn't get done, and then somebody else sees the garbage, and of course people say, oh, this must be a dumping ground. But we really need to work at getting garbage receptacles. We need to get at getting some signage to just ask people to please not dump and litter. And you know, I mean, these kinds of items, you know, should not be just chucked around. People's garbage bags here. You know, obviously some of this stuff is industrial and is, you know, comes from the work environment, but we're just trying to tidy it up a little bit, bring some awareness and promotion for the Burgeo Harbor Authority, and so we just wanted to make you aware of some of these things. Come on out here with me, Kayla, and we can show people that there is a small bit of shoreline. Oops. Yeah, it's still on. We've got a bit of shoreline that was cleaned up here today. And we do find people litter, you know, pop cans, chip bags, all these kinds of things. So I guess when people are down here parking, you know, they just chuck their garbage outside as well. Whoa. This person who owns this boat has a big dream, I guess, of restoring this boat, and they pay for berthage here, and hopefully someday they'll come back and put their boat together. Here's one of the board members of the Burgeo Harbor Authority, Mr. Wayne Bowles. Wayne, maybe you can tell us about this this boat here. Someone has paid for their berthage, and do they intend to try to fix it?
That boat came up in Trapassi. He's been there now 8 or 9 years now. He put her to get her fiberglass, and apparently the fellow that put her there run into financial problems and been lying there ever since. But he's still, as far as I know, he's still looking for some of the fiberglass, but as you can see, better, cheaper than buying a new boat.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, so we'll have to chat with him and see if he might want to be a special guest here on Guy Fawkes Night, maybe.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, with all due respect to somebody that would want to restore the boat, obviously it would take an incredible amount of money.
That's right, and we'd like to see that over there ourselves. Because he is an eyesore.
It is.
Really an eyesore, like you say, but the man is paying his bills, so what can we do about
He's
it?
paying his berthage fees, and maybe a letter to him to ask him what his intentions are would be a good thing. And then also, I know that Town of Burgeo is working now at new bylaws, which actually put a time limit for certain things to happen. Like, say, for instance, when you're taking down an old building or an old house, we don't have any time limits on it. And so maybe it's something that our Burgeo Harbor Authority needs to look at in the future, is if you want to store your boat there for a while, we might have to say, well, listen, you can keep it there for 2 years, but if you don't do anything after the fact or a year, then it has to be removed, or we might have to remove it and charge that person the fees.
This boat is actually getting to be a danger, really. Can you see what happened there?
Well,
When
yes.
we start taking out boats, that stuff starts to come down on top of us.
Yeah, exactly.
We definitely had to get up and take it down.
Yes, exactly. It fall down, and that's what I sort of thought. Okay, I could see that it was safely propped up there, but I thought, what if it did just collapse? So it's not a safe environment for anybody.
It's not. And then those same trailers and underneath this boat, everything that's been put there, and they're starting to get bad. All you need is try to good pump and hit that boat right there and get down and press on top of somebody else's boat.
Yeah, and then you've got damage on other people's boats as well. Yeah.
Then you're liable then, right?
Yeah, yeah. Over here is a big concern for me because I'm not sure if there is a culvert that runs down through here.
No, there's just an open drain.
It's an open drain, but Wayne, where does that open drain come out, and is this impeding anything to be coming out of it? Will it get blocked? I've asked the town manager to check on any drainage here, and certainly we will put up some signage and ask people to stop dumping over in this area. But I did ask the town manager if it was something that we could look at and maybe actually fill something in, because this is not the kind of thing here that me and my small cleanup groups can actually handle.
It's not.
And
There is a lot of drainage here because we're up on the back part of then all the lower towards our part this comes
Yes.
my yard. That's a mix, and all the water with good rain. That's where it all comes down.
all
So,
comes down through here. And so I'm not sure what we can do with this, but it is a terrible environmental concern, and we do need to do something, whether we fill it in and cover it over, or whether we
But
try
if it fills in and covers it over, you're definitely going to have to put a culvert there.
have a
You're
culvert there.
definitely going to have to put one there.
Yeah, okay, yeah. And because then what's the other alternative? It's like a huge endeavor that I don't know if somebody like myself could take on, but I think it is important because we have all kinds of visitors coming, and this is the kinds of things that they're seeing when they come into our community.
Yeah.
And we have a whole pile of fishnet over here. We have to have a chat with all of the users of our marine service centers as well. That if you've got an old net, this is not the place for it.
It's not. Actually, that's going to seep itself out through. You know what's going to happen there.
Exactly, and then it's killing a lot of fish in the ocean and sort of stuff like that. So now the problem here is that somebody also came down last fall with a load of trees and all this wood and dumped it. So, and I don't even know if it's safe to start a fire and to light all of that, because we could try to drag some of it, not to start it there, but to drag some of that wood out and to burn it. And then to try to get at some of the plastics and sort of stuff like that.
Getting down there now, you're getting yourself in danger. You don't know what's down there.
Yeah. But but what's the solution, Wayne? Should we just? Is it going to be leave it there?
It's definitely got to come with it.
Yeah.
Most things.
And so it is a big endeavor. So hopefully we will find the right partners throughout the summer that will help us to be able
Just
to.
up there, you're going to crane on it, left on
Yep.
it, or get Cooper coming in and take it off.
Yeah.
No way you're going to get up with it.
And this is something that we do hope that we would do, is that today would be a start of this, but that in a couple of weeks' time we would have a bigger initiative where we could actually clean up some of these really, really bad areas. Thank you for coming down here today, Kayla, too, and all the work that you've done.
I went to the bank as Mr. Chis Burton presented Mr. Hohen Marsden with a check for $5,000 as promised from the Scotia Bank during the telephone.
Well, Owen, John, and Margaret called us in today to officially present the check for $5,000 that we promised on your telethon back on May the 27th. We felt it was an opportune time for Scotiabank to give back to the community and communities that we serve. Of course, like the Rania, I guess, Grey River and Franceway, they from time to time send hockey teams here to play, and we figured that by giving back $5,000 for such a thing as your new ice system, to ensure that you got really scheduled programs at the arena, was the best way to share the $5,000 all around type thing. So on behalf of Scotiabank, it's a pleasure to be able to present the Virgin Recreation Commission with this $5,000 today, and look forward to seeing the ice system in place in the near future.
Thank you very much, sir. And once again, the Virgin Recreation Commission is very happy to accept this check from Scotiabank. This will bring our total over $17,000 right now, so we appreciate the efforts of everybody. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. I'd like to publicly thank my staff who gave up their free time during the telethon. I wasn't able to be there myself, but they represented the bank very well. Thank you very much. Thank you.
A new sign has been erected near the town council building. I took my camera over and watched as they were putting it in. Friday, June 15th, was recognized as Elder Abuse Awareness Day. As an ongoing effort to educate the community on elder abuse, the ELK Committee has sent along 2 programs to be aired on this channel. Please stay tuned after this broadcast for the video entitled A House Divided. This concludes our program for tonight. Thank you for watching. Good night.